On a bright spring morning, Momo unveiled an audacious plan for Maplebright's biggest community festival.
3 stages, a lantern parade, free workshops, and a pie orchestra.
Audacious means boldly daring. It can be admirable, but it may involve risk.
An audacious proposal attempts something unusually bold.
Before we celebrate, is the plan feasible with our time and money?
Feasible means possible and practical to accomplish.
Tavi began a meticulous review, checking every cost and measurement with extreme care.
Meticulous means very careful about small details.
Then let us make a tentative schedule, a first version we can still change.
Tentative means not final or fully certain.
We must allocate our budget, assign specific amounts to food, safety, music, and cleanup.
We allocate resources by assigning them to particular purposes.
Our main constraint is the small town square. It limits how many booths can fit.
A constraint is a restriction that limits choices.
Can we reach a consensus that safety and access come before spectacle?
Consensus means general agreement. Everyone nodded.
A pragmatic plan focuses on what works, not merely what sounds impressive.
A pragmatic solution respects real conditions.
Then the festival is viable. It can succeed if we reduce the stages and share equipment.
Viable means capable of working successfully.
I can facilitate the meeting by organizing choices and helping everyone cooperate.
Facilitate means make a process easier.
The grand idea survived its first test. Still audacious, but now feasible, pragmatic, and ready for careful planning. By noon, the team faced a public meeting beneath Maplebright's sunny bandstand.
I will advocate for the festival because it can unite neighbors and support local shops.
To advocate is to publicly support a cause or proposal.
I must articulate our plan clearly, not bury it beneath cheerful slogans.
Articulate means express an idea clearly and effectively.
Our most compelling argument is practical. Shared equipment lowers costs for everyone.
A compelling argument strongly attracts attention or convinces an audience.
Let us make a cogent case, with logic connecting every claim to evidence.
Cogent means clear, logical, and convincing.
A shopkeeper objected that the festival would block every customer entrance.
Our rebuttal is the revised map, which preserves a clear path to each shop.
A rebuttal is a reasoned answer to an opposing claim.
The measurements refute the claim that every entrance will be blocked.
To refute a claim is to prove that it is false or mistaken.
I concede one point. Deliveries will need a special morning schedule.
To concede is to admit that part of the opposing argument is valid.
When asked about cleanup costs, Kiko first gave an evasive answer about beautiful sunsets.
Evasive means avoiding a direct or honest response. Fine, the cleanup estimate is not finished.
That candid admission is more useful. Candid means honest and direct, even when the truth is awkward.
A candid speaker states the real uncertainty instead of hiding it.
Rhetoric can make a speech memorable, but elegant language cannot replace evidence.
Rhetoric is persuasive language. The word can be neutral or critical when style exceeds substance.
Their case succeeded because it combined cogent evidence, candid limits, and compelling rhetoric. The next sunny morning, the team opened the supply shed and found a dearth of lantern paper.
A dearth is a serious lack. We need 600 sheets, but we have only 80.
The ribbon supply is scant too, barely enough for the main gate.
Scant means very little or barely sufficient.
And this is a meager box of paint, disappointingly small for 12 signs.
Outside the shed, however, bamboo is abundant. The gardeners offered whole bundles.
Abundant means plentiful, more than enough for our frames.
We should ration the rare paper, so every workshop receives a fair portion.
To ration something is to control how much each person may use when supplies are limited.
A frugal design can use old maps on one side and bright paint on the other.
Frugal means careful and economical, not miserly or joyless.
We also need a judicious plan. Save the strongest paper for lanterns exposed to wind.
Judicious means showing wise, balanced judgment.
Momo noticed Kiko testing ribbons by tossing long pieces into the air.
Please do not squander them. To squander a resource is to waste it recklessly.
My experiment was dazzling and financially indefensible.
If necessary, the decorations can be austere, plain and without luxury, but still welcoming.
Austere does not have to mean gloomy. Clean bamboo shapes can look elegant in sunlight.
Then Sunnybot found a surplus of fabric left from last year's picnic.
A surplus is an amount beyond what is needed.
Perfect. We will ration scarce paper, use abundant bamboo, and turn surplus fabric into banners.
The shortage did not disappear, but judicious choices kept a meager supply from becoming a ruined festival. By afternoon, the main stage location had become the festival's most contentious question.
Contentious issues provoke strong disagreement. The fountain plaza is beautiful but narrow.
Kiko, calling every objection cowardly will antagonize the shopkeepers.
To antagonize people is to make them hostile or angry.
Then I will placate them with free front row seats.
Placate means calm someone's anger, often through a concession, but seats do not solve blocked doors.
Nor should we appease everyone by agreeing to demands that make the festival unsafe.
Appease can mean calming conflict by yielding. It may imply an unwise concession.
Bramble adopted a conciliatory tone and placed both maps on the table.
Conciliatory words reduce hostility. Both groups want a lively festival and open shops.
I admit my speech created rancor, a lasting bitterness far worse than ordinary annoyance.
The rancor has produced discord, serious disagreement within our team.
Then let us reconcile our two goals, instead of choosing one and insulting the other.
To reconcile conflicting goals is to make them compatible.
Here is a compromise. Move the stage to the garden edge and angle the speakers toward the square.
A compromise requires each side to give up something. I lose the fountain backdrop, shops keep clear entrances.
The shopkeepers examined the new map, while the team waited without another dramatic speech. This protects deliveries and preserves the concert. I can agree.
That accord is a formal agreement created after negotiation.
We did not merely placate the loudest voice. We reached an accord by addressing the real conflict.
And I have reconciled myself to a garden backdrop. The flowers are, frankly, excellent supporting actors.
A contentious debate ended without rancor, because a conciliatory team chose compromise over discord. The next morning, a rumor claimed the garden stage would sink into wet ground, so the team gathered evidence before changing the plan.
We need empirical evidence, information gained through observation or measurement, not imagination.
My soil gauge gives empirical readings from 6 locations around the stage.
A musician told me the garden flooded once. Is that anecdotal evidence?
Yes, anecdotal evidence comes from a personal story. It may matter, but one story is not a broad study.
Can the maintenance records corroborate that account by independently supporting it?
They corroborate part of it. One drain clogged during an exceptional storm 3 years ago.
But the records do not substantiate the larger claim that this ground is usually unsafe.
To substantiate a claim is to support it with convincing facts or proof.
From the dry samples, may we infer that every part of the garden is safe?
Not yet. Infer means reach a conclusion from evidence. A limited sample permits only a limited conclusion.
We can deduce one certainty from the map. Water flows downhill toward the eastern drain.
To deduce is to reach a conclusion by logical reasoning from known facts.
One reading near the drain was ambiguous. It could indicate damp soil or a poorly placed sensor.
Ambiguous evidence allows more than one interpretation.
Then both explanations are plausible, reasonably possible, even if neither is proven.
I found a discrepancy. The paper map places the drain 2 meters west of its actual position.
A discrepancy is an inconsistency between facts, records, or results.
Let us scrutinize the eastern corner closely, checking the sensor, drain, slope, and recent rainfall.
To scrutinize something is to examine it with great care.
Their scrutiny found firm soil and a clear drain. The evidence supported the stage, with one sensible condition.
We will add a rain check on festival morning. That conclusion is substantiated, cautious, and open to new evidence.
That afternoon, a fierce gust struck the garden stage, scattering music and turning the rehearsal into an unexpected tribulation.
A tribulation is a severe trial or period of suffering. This one arrived wearing 6 paper lanterns as a hat.
The flying sheets impede the musicians because they obstruct their progress through the song.
To impede progress is to delay or block it.
Tangled cables also hamper our work. Hamper means make a task or effort more difficult.
If the backdrop escapes, the wind may thwart the entire rehearsal by preventing our plan from succeeding.
To thwart an attempt is to stop it from achieving its goal.
Then the loose canopy caught the wind like a sail and exacerbated the trouble.
Exacerbate means make an already bad situation worse.
We are in quite a predicament, a difficult, unpleasant situation with no effortless exit.
This predicament needs calm engineering, not louder screaming.
Our team is resilient. We can recover quickly from this setback and continue.
A resilient community bends under pressure but does not remain defeated.
First, we can mitigate the wind's effects by lowering the canopy and adding fabric vents.
To mitigate a problem is to make it less severe, even if we cannot remove it completely.
The team tied sandbags to each pole, moved tall decorations behind the hedge, and tested every anchor.
We should also redress our earlier mistake by replacing the weak knots with secure ones.
To redress a problem is to correct it or provide a remedy.
With these changes, we can surmount the obstacle rather than surrender to it.
Surmount means successfully overcome a difficulty or obstacle.
The wind impeded us and exacerbated our predicament, but resilient teamwork mitigated the damage.
The music began again beneath a lower, safer canopy. The team had surmounted its hardest rehearsal yet. The morning after the wind-struck rehearsal, Maplebright gathered around the repaired garden stage, and the first reaction was loud acclaim.
Acclaim is enthusiastic public praise. The children are cheering as if our sandbags performed a heroic ballet.
Their acclaim celebrates the recovery, not the dangerous setup that caused the trouble.
The safety inspector also gave formal approbation to the lower canopy and reinforced anchors.
Approbation means official or expressed approval, often from a person with authority.
But her report included a sharp rebuke for our original weak knots.
A rebuke is a strong expression of criticism. Approval of the repair did not erase criticism of the mistake.
2 visitors began to deride the crooked lanterns, mocking them as wind-blown vegetables.
To deride something is to treat it with scorn or ridicule.
They may criticize the design, but they should not disparage the volunteers as incompetent.
To disparage people is to belittle them or speak of them as less worthy.
Instead, I will laud the volunteers for staying calm and securing every pole.
To laud someone is to praise that person highly, especially for a real achievement.
The shopkeepers were ambivalent about the sudden attention, pleased by the crowd, yet worried about blocked deliveries.
Ambivalent means having mixed or conflicting feelings about the same thing.
They are also wary of another gust, so they are watchfully cautious rather than simply afraid.
Wary people remain alert because they recognize a possible danger.
The young volunteers returned with such fervor that they tied 3 banners before I finished one announcement.
Fervor is intense enthusiasm or passion for a cause or activity.
Meanwhile, yesterday's exhausted crew showed understandable lethargy, with little energy for another long rehearsal.
Lethargy is a state of sluggishness or lack of energy. Rest and a shorter shift should help.
The town's reaction was neither pure acclaim nor pure rebuke. Candid criticism, deserved praise, wary planning, and renewed fervor moved the festival forward. Under a sunny market awning, the team opened the rehearsal log to determine how the unsafe knots had escaped notice.
I tried to delegate the anchor check to the stage crew, but I never named one person to complete it.
To delegate a task is to assign it and enough authority to someone else.
The vague assignment does not make every volunteer culpable. Culpable means deserving blame for a fault.
Momo is culpable for the unclear handoff, while Kiko is responsible for changing the knot plan.
A prudent review should identify each failure without turning accountability into a public spectacle.
Prudent means careful, sensible, and guided by sound judgment.
Tavi rejected an arbitrary proposal to blame whichever volunteer had arrived last.
Arbitrary decisions rest on whim or random preference rather than a fair reason.
I also gave a peremptory order, tie everything now, that allowed no question or refusal.
Peremptory language demands immediate obedience and can silence useful warnings.
A cooperative system will work better. One named checker, one partner, and one shared checklist.
Cooperative people work together toward a common purpose instead of hiding information.
Integrity requires honesty when the truth is embarrassing, so I admit that my rushed order caused confusion.
Integrity is firm honesty and adherence to moral principles, especially when concealment would be easier.
Bramble had shown initiative during the gust by lowering the canopy before anyone instructed him.
Initiative is the readiness to begin useful action independently.
The inspector's new mandate is official. A named safety lead must sign every anchor check.
A mandate is an authoritative command or formally granted duty.
Foresight means anticipating future needs. Spare rope and an early wind test may prevent another crisis.
With foresight, we prepare before trouble appears instead of composing apologies afterward.
By accepting culpability, rewarding initiative, and creating a cooperative mandate, the team turned blame into a safer festival. The next bright morning, the new safety check revealed that the original parade route no longer fit the festival.
We must adapt the design to the new conditions instead of forcing the old plan to work.
To adapt something is to change it so it suits a new purpose or situation.
A rotating route system could be a useful innovation, an idea introduced to improve how we work.
Innovation means the introduction of a new idea, method, or device.
The conventional plan used fixed paper signs because that familiar method had always been used.
Conventional means based on accepted customs or ordinary practice rather than a novel approach.
Those fixed signs are now obsolete. They are no longer useful because the route may change with wind and deliveries.
Obsolete does not merely mean old, it means replaced or no longer in use.
Tavi has an ingenious solution: bamboo arrows that rotate without requiring us to print new signs.
Ingenious describes something cleverly inventive and skillfully designed.
Weighted flour sacks under each sign will ameliorate the wind problem by making the sign steadier.
To ameliorate a bad condition is to make it better or less severe.
Beside the path, flexible reeds bent in the breeze without snapping, and Tavi studied their shape.
We can alter the lantern frames, change their tall, rigid form into lower, rounded supports.
Alter means change a feature, without necessarily replacing the whole thing.
Let us emulate the reeds by copying the useful principle of bending safely under pressure.
To emulate a successful model is to imitate it with the goal of matching its achievement.
When a delivery cart suddenly blocked the new entrance, the team had no prepared walkway.
We can improvise one from spare bamboo, surplus fabric, and flower pots, using what is available right now.
To improvise is to create or perform without preparation, often with materials at hand.
Our improvised path is temporary, but the adaptable signs and safer lanterns are a lasting improvement, one designed to endure.
With opening day near, Kiko drafted the route announcement, but his parchment curled across the sunny plaza like a runaway vine.
We need a concise message, brief but complete, with no unnecessary words.
My 37 decorative greetings may be less essential than I believed.
The instructions must also be lucid, clear, easy to understand, and logically arranged.
A concise message saves time, a lucid one saves confusion.
This sentence is opaque. Its meaning is difficult to understand even though every word sounds impressive.
I became verbose, using far too many words to explain one small change.
And 3 repeated warnings are redundant because they add nothing new.
Remove the redundant lines but keep the route, start time, and accessibility note.
They replaced the crowded scroll with a short diagram and tested it at the festival entrance.
Make the garden route explicit, state it directly, leaving no important fact merely suggested.
The flower symbol made the destination implicit because it hinted at the garden without saying so directly.
That hint misses an important nuance. The quiet path and the step-free path are not identical.
A nuance is a subtle difference in meaning, feeling, or situation.
Let us clarify the accessibility note by naming the step-free entrance and pointing to it.
During the test, visitors repeated the announcement from stall to stall until the route began to change.
Repetition can distort a message by altering its meaning or presenting it inaccurately.
One listener moved the concert to noon, and another sent everyone toward the bakery.
A charming destination, certainly, but we should clarify the official route at one central board.
Now the message is concise, lucid, and explicit, while still preserving every useful nuance.
Nothing important is implicit, redundant, or opaque, so rumor cannot easily distort the plan.
Kiko delivered the clarified announcement, and a cheerful stream of visitors followed the correct arrows toward the garden stage. As the sunny festival filled with visitors, Bramble opened a free water table, an altruistic act meant to help strangers without reward.
Altruistic people show unselfish concern for the welfare of others.
A benevolent baker donated fruit and shade umbrellas, intending kindness and generously providing aid.
Benevolent actions actively promote another person's well-being.
At the contest tent, Tavi served as an impartial judge, scoring every lantern by the same published rules.
Impartial judgment shows no favoritism, whether the artist is my friend or a first-time visitor.
Our egalitarian ticket system gives every child equal access to workshops, regardless of family income.
Egalitarian policies are based on the principle that people deserve equal rights and opportunities.
Then an unscrupulous vendor hid the free water sign and tried to exploit the hot crowd by charging an extreme price.
To exploit people is to use them unfairly for one's own advantage.
Unscrupulous conduct ignores moral principles. Hiding a free option is deliberately dishonest.
A virtuous response must be morally sound, not merely convenient for the organizers.
We also need a transparent remedy. Post every price and explain every vendor rule where visitors can see it.
Transparent procedures are open, clear, and easy for the public to examine.
We have an obligation to protect visitors because accepting public trust creates a duty to act.
The team restored the free water sign, refunded unfair charges, and invited the vendor to remain only under the published rules.
A conscientious organizer works with great care and follows a sense of what is right.
Our conscientious volunteers checked prices, ramps, quiet areas, and workshop queues throughout the afternoon.
Fairness is not one benevolent gesture. It is an impartial, transparent system that no one can exploit.
And an egalitarian festival lets generosity become a shared obligation instead of a private favor.
The crowd cheered the virtuous correction, while the newly cooperative vendor served water at the posted price.
Under bright banners, Maplebright's festival became fairer for everyone because kindness was matched by conscientious rules. Opening day was the culmination of weeks of planning, the point where every careful effort reached its festival peak.
A culmination is the highest point or final result of a long process, and Maplebright is glowing.
The gates opened beneath bright banners while music, workshops, and the lantern parade came together at last.
Before celebrating, we must assess the festival by carefully judging safety, access, attendance, and cost.
To assess a result is to evaluate its quality, value, or importance.
One crooked detour sign briefly sent the pie judges toward the duck pond, but a comic mistake is not a fiasco.
A fiasco is a complete and embarrassing failure. The ducks were surprised the festival was not destroyed.
We can rectify the mistake by correcting the arrow and guiding the judges back to the contest tent.
To rectify a problem is to set it right through a practical correction.
The quick repair and steady crowds vindicated the team's meticulous preparation.
To vindicate a decision is to show, with results or evidence, that it was justified.
When the lantern parade reached the garden stage, cheers declared a genuine triumph, a great victory after difficulty.
Our triumph belongs to volunteers, shopkeepers, artists, and every visitor who cooperated.
Success has consequences, results caused by earlier choices, whether helpful or harmful.
One positive consequence is a new network of neighbors ready to share tools and skills.
In the festival's aftermath, the team cleaned the square and reviewed what remained after the excitement.
Aftermath means the period and consequences following a major event, especially after its immediate action ends.
The festival's enduring benefit will last beyond today. Free workshops will continue each month.
Enduring describes something that remains strong or meaningful for a long time.
Let us commemorate this day by planting a maple tree and preserving the story of everyone who helped.
To commemorate an event is to honor and remember it through a ceremony, object, or tradition.
At sunset, the new tree stood beside a thriving square, a near fiasco rectified, a plan vindicated, and an enduring community triumph.